Hey besties, today's video is not like the last video. There's no pepper in today's video. Today's video is all about honey and sugar, spice and something sweet. So from the title of the video, you can see that I'm going to be talking about a very good news. You must have heard about the UK's plan to increase the work hours for international students. Now in today's video, we're going to be dissecting that. Not only that, I would also be analyzing the implications of that. What are the advantages, the disadvantages? So if you are an international student or an aspiring international student, I think this is a video you should watch. If you're watching me for the first time, my name is Ada and I'm also known as the Legal Pepe. Stay subscribed and let's go! Remember that in my last video, I told you about the UK government's plan to cut down on the post-study visa from 2 years to 6 months. Now, this is also a proposal, so it has not yet come in play. However, there are lots of deliberations on it. Now, in case you did not know, but I think you know because it's popular, every student in the UK is expected to work a maximum of 20 hours. 20 hours! And I'm sure for people that are not students in the UK, they will not understand the implications of it. First implication, 20 hours is definitely not enough for a student to work. I said what I said. Yesterday there will be no pepper, but I will still say what I want to say. 20 hours is not enough at all. 20 hours is only enough for your feeding and all these other minor bills. But you will see some students that would come from their home country to the UK expecting to work 20 hours and pay their tuition fee and their accommodation. Then they come here and realize how difficult it is. Now to such students, there is good news for you. UK is trying to copy the likes of Australia and Canada, who have massively reduced their limitations on international student work hours. And I think that is so commendable. Now, I understand the fact that the UK government obviously pegged the 20 hours limit so that people that are coming to study would actually study. There are some people that left their countries to come to the UK and they just came to just Japa. They did not even want to study. And I see nothing wrong with that. However, when the UK government pegged it to 20 hours, the point is you would have to work for just 20 hours legally. Even if you don't like studying, by fire by force, you have to study. Before I go on to talk about the likely increment, I would also need to state that this 20 hours cap is affecting students, employers, in short, the whole UK economy, because a lot of international students are actually hard workers. That's the truth. And when there is a cap on how much they can work, it also greatly reduces the level of employment, which in turn impacts negatively on the economy. Because some companies would not even employ you because you're a student. Some companies would employ only dependents because they know that for students, you can only legally work for 20 hours. That may not be enough for them. So the 20 hours affects everybody. The only group of people it will not affect would be maybe those students that have their tuition fee taken care of, their accommodation fully paid, so they are just working the 20 hours just for extra cash. Because let's calculate, currently the minimum wage in the UK is about 9 point something pounds. Now let's just say an average student would earn about 10 pounds per hour. And when I say average, I just mean average. What that means is some people earn 9 point something, some earn 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 per hour, depending on the organization and their requisite experience. But the average is about 10 pounds. Now let's say you work 20 hours for 10 pounds. What that means is in a week you have 200 pounds and we've not included tax. Then in a month you have like 800 pounds and you've not included tax. By the time you remove tax, how much is left? Is it 800 pounds you want to use to pay your school fees? How many months do you need to work to pay your school fees of about 10,000, 50,000 pounds? How? Now we are not even including accommodation. So you can see that the 20 hours work limit is just ridiculous. And even for people that have paid their tuition fee, what of accommodation? So you are literally just working to pay your landlord and eat food. which makes no sense. So I have never been a huge fan of the 20 hours work limit. And the funny thing is that it has led to rebellion because some people literally need to work more than 20 hours to survive in the UK. And some just don't care, they just do more than 20 hours. Even though there may be implications, people have reached the point where they don't even care anymore. Or some do menial jobs. So I am so glad that finally the UK government are trying to see the light to understand that that is ridiculous. Now let's talk about the news proper. Now the UK government plans to increase the work hours from 20 hours to either 30 hours or completely scrap the limit. And in my opinion, they should just completely scrap it. Literally, because why is there a limit? Although if they completely scrap it, a huge disadvantage of this would be that some international students may not be attending classes and taking their education seriously. Some people may just forget that they are students and be working full-time, which is a very valid concern because I have seen things in this place. I have seen people that would literally abandon their academics just to work. In their minds, they've Japa, which I would never ever support. There is a better way. You can actually combine the two, both your academics and your work, and do very well in both. It's all about managing your time. Personally, that's the only disadvantage that I'm seeing. And I think government or educational institutions can actually curb that concern by enforcing attendance policies, which they already do. In my department, for instance, you cannot miss so many classes. In fact, if you miss like 2, 3, 4 classes, you're only getting emails. Currently, in most universities, you cannot even miss their classes. They will chase you down with emails. Once you miss classes like this, the next thing they're sending you emails like, what's going on? So these policies are already in place. And once that is enforced, I don't think that concern of people not being in class would count. And of course, if there are students that are defaulting, then they can be taken up on that. Otherwise, for other students, I think this is a very welcome development. Please let me know, besties, like, what do you think? Do you think it's an amazing development? If you're not for it, I'll be so curious to know why. One great thing that this deliberation would do if it's implemented is that it would greatly boost the economy. It would, because people will be able to legally work. Personally, I don't even want them to increase it from 20 hours to 30. If they are even given a cap, I think like 40 hours. Because some people can legally do 40 hours without stress. There's some people that their classes are just maybe 2 days. If they have the strength to work and they need to complete their fees and bills, why not? But if it ends up being 30 hours, I will still be happy because it is better than 20 hours. Like better. Finally, one very great point and perspective with respect to this is that the UK government is doing this with the point of view of increasing employment in the retail and hospitality sector. When I saw this, I was like, wow, these people are thinking. Because ask 90% of international students in the UK, ask them what they are doing. Most of them are doing care or support jobs or maybe factory jobs. And that's because those are the jobs that are readily available. They are willing to train you and you can start working ASAP. But people forget that there are options in other sectors. For instance, I love the hospitality sector. It is a great sector, and once this 20 hours cap is removed, it will give people more opportunities. And with this government's plan, I guess the retail and hospitality sector will be more open to international students, which of course should promote diversity and more opportunities. With respect to the retail part, I don't think I'm a huge fan of retail sectors because in a lot of retail outlets, your popular retail outlets, the way they treat their staff, no be if you worked in a popular store, shop, just let me know your experience. I know that there are exceptions and I may be speaking from the point of view of a single story, but from what I've seen, a lot of them, first, their pay is not even fantastic. Then the level of pressure that these workers are usually on, And of course, being an international student, or specifically a person of color, it is not going to be easy being in a sector dominated by people that are maybe white British. It's not that easy. That's the truth. But care and support are easier sectors to blend in. So hopefully, if this deliberation becomes true, the retail and hospitality sector will become more conducive and open to the international community. My main focus with respect to this video is about the advancement of the international community. I just want to see that more international people are given opportunities, because why not? That's it about this video. I hope you've enjoyed my analysis, and if you have, or you have any points you want to talk about, put it in the comment section, and of course my favorite comment will get pinned. If you've not subscribed yet to this amazing community, get us to 1k, because once I'm on 1k, I'm going live on this channel. Yes. Alright besties, I'm going to see you on Saturday by 6 p.m. West African time. Until then, remain blessed and happy. Bye guys.